Hello, hello. Hi, Soph. How's it going?
Hi, Cam.
I'm
Good, good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm actually I'm happy we're doing this. I think it's a fun I don't know. It's fun how life just brought us to this moment, right? It's like online on stream. Um but you know what?
Uh,
Like when I started this show, my idea for Kamsky TV was to just really have interesting conversations that would be, just catered to an audience that was quite mixed, but especially for founders like myself and people that were either on a path to building their own career or their own company, but also just that wanted to grow and learn things. And obviously, I'm really invested and we work in the crypto sphere, but these conversations are also, they need to be able to grow outside of our little bubble. And you were always someone that I thought, you know what, one day we'll definitely like go live together. And I definitely want to hear everything that you've been up to because you've been killing it. And I know that recently you've gone full entrepreneur. By the way, like Sophie just went on full independent, and you've launched um your own coaching brand. And I know this is something that you've been wanting to do for like so many years, and you're so good at this and have been obviously working in the background with like so many founders. And, we'll get into all of this. But I just want to say, I'm really excited to have you here because it was long due. And before we go, Hilson, what's up? We have the chat popping up. Hi, friends. Good to see you guys. Yeah. How does it feel? I know this is your first live stream. Is this how is it feeling?
well, it feels good because actually, like now, a lot of my coaching conversations are like over Zoom and things. So, like, life is live, right? So I think we should like it feels good, and you never know what comes up. And like even in my coaching conversations, what's really like a theme is people say, I want to come and talk about ABC, or I have this problem. And it turns out that that is never the problem. It's something like beneath it, or so I'm excited to see what, we're going to end up talking to, where the conversation goes, because we never know. And I think that's kind of the magic to find out what's beneath the surface.
Yeah, it's always like this. You never know. And this is something like every time I have a stream with someone, like it always goes into places where, you cannot predict. There's always things you want to talk about, but ultimately you never know.
Yeah.
One thing though, I have to say that's going to be a bit different than what you're used to is that we're live and we have a chat. I don't know if you can see on the screen. It's pretty small from what you see, but we have Mario that's here. We have Pantella that's saying hi. Hilson and Max are all in the
Hi,
chat saying
guys.
hello. If you guys have questions, feel free to put them in. But yes, live streaming is fun. You really have this like intimate conversation with your audience. Like we're here up talking, but we'll have people chatting to
Mm,
us. And yeah, I see we have Lio as well. What's up, Lio? People are popping up. So that's the beauty of streaming, right?
mhm.
It's a live conversation,
Yeah.
and it's much more intimate than a podcast. There's no editing, you guys. Like if we say some dumb shit, like it's gonna be for everyone. So just to roll it
Yeah.
back a little bit, because how I want to get to how does one get to a position where they can coach founders, right? And we have a very similar, let's say, give me a second because Mochi is doing some stuff in the background. Mochi, come here. I have this like tiny kitten and she's being really naughty. Come here. I need to get her because she's biting
See,
some
naughty
plastic stuff.
kitten.
She's like biting something. I just fed her. Come here.
Way to keep people happy. But yeah, also in the comments, if someone has a
There you go.
specific struggle, let me know.
She's really, you know what? She's the cutest, but she's
Oh,
so
hello.
naughty and she always needs attention. Like I'm on calls all day and she's like meowing. So I will just keep her here. This is Mochi. For those that don't know, she's a rag doll, 3.5 months old. Very cute, but yeah, very needy. Demands a lot of attention. So she's in a food coma now. I guess she'll like hopefully like sleep here. But yeah, I'm at the point in my life where, you know what, like I've been traveling so much. You know me, like I've been moving countries. And now
Yeah.
finally it's been 2 years settled in Dubai, where, you know, life has been like a not regular, but you know, there's some stability there and it feels so good. And I guess the next step is obviously getting a cat. And I was really waiting for that moment to be able to have a pet, right? And it's really cute. Yeah, I know Meta Prince, she's the cutest.
Yeah.
So I'm now a cat mom. So
Wow. I never thought this day would come that you're not like jet setting and I don't know, living in Bali, living from one place to another.
I know it feels good, but we've all come very far. And you know, back to our journey, right? Like so for those that are in the chat, Soph and we've known each other for more than a decade now. I think yeah, it's been a very, very long time. And also professionally and academically, we didn't go to the same university, but we have a very similar path. You studied hospitality management, same as I did.
Mhm.
And then I remember you moved to London, right? And started working for an events company, and then moved on to working for some incubators and accelerators, and have been like from a very early stage in your professional career, you've been working around a lot of founders.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how is that, you know? And I always wonder, you know, it's definitely a different mindset that you need to take, even if you're an employee, being around people that, you know, are creating their luck as opposed to choosing comfort
Mm,
and regularity. It's definitely a shift, right? Like, what's your perspective
yeah.
on this? Because obviously, you know me, it's been a few years that I've gone full solo, working for myself. Obviously, I have a co-founder, and I definitely see this change, right? Like, I'm not the same person I was when I had a stable job.
No. And I don't know if it was similar to you, but it's very interesting that we studied like business and hospitality, which are so traditional. And then actually at a point, I was like, it's very much like you do things just because it's the way it's always been done,
Like
and
setting
in a way that
table,
didn't fit with me culturally.
the
You
table
wear the
needs to be
same uniform, you
set.
serve.
Yes. In a
Yes,
certain way.
yes. And it's almost like 360 from the entrepreneur. You say, we do this, the entrepreneur says, why? Why is it done that way? How? Like, how can we do it better? So I think both of us have this personality where entrepreneurs are very curious, right? And they score high on freedom. People often become entrepreneurs too because they want the freedom. They want the freedom to build their own systems, to do things better, to design their life how they want. I don't know if that resonates for you as well.
100%. And it makes me think, you know, back in uni, and you know, the uni I went to, we could not get into our exam room if our shirt was not the right way. If we weren't wearing the right shoes,
Mm,
like, you know, everything was very, very strict. It was a Swiss hospitality school. They were so particular. And I was like, I just felt like
yeah,
rebelling to all this authority. I still made it. I think I
yeah.
needed, to be honest, I needed that structure. Because now looking back,
Mm,
you know, when you want freedom and you want, you know, chaos, it's also an illusion. I think there's also the flip side to that, where you want everything, but to be able to have everything, you do need to have structure and choose and make choices. And
yeah,
having that foundation and organization, which I do have today, I'm so CD about things, and I used to not be, has allowed us to grow in the way that we did and to perform. And yes, Hilson, I
yeah.
was a rebel. Like I got in so much. I was a rebel, like just from a young age to university to just,
Mm,
I didn't like, you know, I didn't like the rules. I was really misbehaving. Like the person you guys don't know me. Like we were wild. But at the same time, and I always wondered, like, part of me wanted to go to art school and just be creative and satisfy that part of myself. But then the rules taught me that this is how to function, and to be successful and to build a company, you need those foundations, right? It's always a balance. You have
Yeah.
to go and really push boundaries to then go back and set them
Mm,
back. You know what I mean?
yeah. And I think that's a really good point that you made. Like, you really need the foundations. And like, that's what I see with lots of the founders that I work with, that they thought they were going to have freedom. And then suddenly they have said yes to a million things and want to do a million projects and have so much drive that they have no freedom at all, that they have no free time.
I can relate. I
Um,
can relate to that.
yeah.
And especially in the beginning. But then again, you know, it's
Yeah.
like there's you have to, and the way I've come about, because I do have to say it was very lonely in the beginning to run your own company. You have to obviously, you know, first of all, you have to change your environment completely, and this is, you know, the people you hang out with. You cannot have, you have to change the way you see
Mm,
things, so your environment is so influenced by everything around you. And there's that transition period where also, you know, you will sacrifice social activities, going out. You know, if you're someone that's, you know, likes to be social, that has to go. It's the first and easiest sacrifice to make when you want to like be successful, to then ultimately have more freedom. But in the beginning, it's, yeah, and you're busy
mm.
and there's so much to do and you want to stay lean, and you know what I mean, so you're trying to do more work. It's so hectic. But yeah,
Yeah.
how does one deal with that?
But then
Like,
it's also,
what's the advice you would give to?
well, I in London especially, there are so many actually like members clubs, incubators, where you can get the professional development, the networks that you want, and even like the lifestyle and the health like benefits that you need to be stay on top of things. So like, I tell people, like, you cannot just continue on your default, as you said. Like, if you continue with your default programming, then you're going to have default results. And so if you want to make a change in your life, there's going to be friction, but then you might not see your usual friends. You have to do that research. You have to go into places like incubators or even co-working spaces where there are people who could be your potential clients, where there could be potential mentors. Don't just settle for the space that's closest to your house. It's too easy. Then you're not going to like see these changes. And also, like, get a coach. Like, Elon Musk has 6 coaches.
Oh my god, yeah, I
But
bet.
that's a lot. You, like, you might not need 6, but also when I worked at YP, I have 2 myself, because they give different perspectives. And also when I work with YPO, all of the most successful like multi-billion-dollar companies, they all had at least 2 coaches, because we just simply can't manage so much input in our lives all the time. We get thousands and thousands of thoughts and input, and you need a sounding board. You need to say things out loud to someone who's neutral,
Yeah, that's not your
someone who
co-founder.
actually,
That's not a friend that doesn't understand. That's not someone that has, you know, let's say a conflict of interest or anything. Yeah, 100%.
yeah. So that's like, I heard these conversations over and over, and I was like, oh, but I would push back and say, oh, but I have great friends. I have this, I have that. But your friends, they want you to be happy, right? Your friends want you to be happy. Um, But I also tell people, I'm not your friend. I'm here to support you, like, to be the best version. I will give you what you need. It might not be what you want. And like, ask the difficult questions. Say the things that you might not have seen yourself, because you don't want to upset your friends. Or if you're out for dinner having, you don't want to ruin the mood.
Yeah.
Or so it's, yeah, sometimes you need these people in your corner who can like tell you those things. And I think, as I mentioned with the default programming, like when you're making this shift, like a metaphor that I've sometimes used is you're walking through a forest and there's a path that's been taken. You can go down that path, you know it, you can go quickly, there's not much resistance, but you might not hit the waterfall, you might not get where you want. The path takes you on the same route. So you might need to go through the thick forest. And what do you need? You need a machete or something, and you will cut through that forest in order to get somewhere new. And it might be slower than what you want. And it might be painful. You might get cut along the way, and it might be lonely because no one else is on that path. But you'll find that waterfall.
Yeah. So there is obviously this it's very cliche in a way, but at the same time it's one that keeps coming back, right? It's still a relevant saying that 99% of companies fail because of people. Like, how much do you
hmm
agree with the statements in your perspective from what you've seen?
I I I almost completely agree with that,
Okay.
because something I also do is I work with, well, co-founder disputes. So it's couples therapy for co-founders or between business partners. And that's where we can see legally, and if you do the research, that it's money and it's interpersonal, like disputes that cause a company to fail. Like those are like the two main ones. And in my work, it's like almost frustrating, or, oh, I wish that people would learn how to talk to each other better. And a big problem I see is miscommunication and assumptions.
What do you think is
Um,
do you think, like, for example, like the money conversation, money seems to be also a big taboo, right? It's the conversation that a lot of people have most resistance to, but ultimately you're building a business, so you want to make money. So why are people so afraid of talking about it? I always wondered. And I feel it too. I mean, there's always something about
yeah,
really struggling to talk about numbers when actually that's the business you're in, right? Whatever industry you're there to increase that balance sheet and increase that cash flow that you have and like grow the numbers. So
yeah,
why, like, is this also
yeah.
something you see, like it's such a struggle, right? Sometimes.
And I think it's universal and it's deep rooted as well. So it's not only about what we're talking about right now. This could be your parents, how they were around money, or if you spoke about money at school or as a child, that you were berated and told, oh, this is rude. It's like socioeconomical, that one co-founder might have grown up with more money than the other. And then both of them don't want to offend the other. Um, and but you, like, as you said, you need to have these conversations. And sometimes it's good to have them separate. Like that's sometimes what I do in my work is I'll have a conversation with each person separately and then bring them together into the room just to like ease that tension. You can have someone else saying it
It's
for
like
you.
it's really like therapy at the end
And
of the day. It's really everything is like fully therapy. And you know, and I know you can agree to this. Like being an entrepreneur at the end and the founder is a spiritual journey because you're gonna go through these periods of, you know, you have to transcend and transform and let go of like so many things, and you're gonna have to strip
mm,
away an old part of yourself and an old way of thinking. Your whole world is going to have to transform, and it's, you know, it's a path that ultimately, if you want to be successful, you have to become a better version of yourself, and you have to
mhm,
create something that's useful. And I'm not talking about, I mean, we're in crypto. There's a lot of like really quick, useless companies and so on. But if you want to build something lasting, like you have to transform yourself as a person. Also, it's going to transpire into, your company culture. It always starts from the top. At the end, it's energy, right? Like the energy that you put in is going to come back and reverb, but you need to change, right? You need to like really go through this like spiritual experience to, as a founder, and take so many risks and be
Mm.
delusional about yourself. Like the trust, right, needs to be there. I think this is something that, like, personally,
Yeah.
it's, you have to trust and you have to be so delusional.
And the courage too, right?
Yeah.
I think that goes like hand in hand. And as founders, everyone tells you you're crazy until you make your first million. Then everyone says,
Yeah.
"Oh, I believed in you."
Yeah.
So
No,
you
for sure.
you need that a little bit of like one track mind and to really be goal oriented. And also, people love to give advice,
Yeah.
and it can be a little bit dangerous sometimes. And that's also where I encourage you, like if you're a founder, if you're on this journey, you know what you're doing, you have your vision, you have your passion, you have your skills, like listen to yourself first, because we're so bombarded also by a podcast that tells you to do this. There's, oh, these are the top 5 tips to be like a millionaire, to find your perfect partner, to lose 10 pounds. But like just really focus and listen to what like by yourself. And like a good tip as well is that, which I got from a coach that I do too and suggest, is like try to be bored
What? Oh my
and
God.
like almost
So difficult.
schedule. I know it's controversial, but
I
like
mean, I have a
schedule
cat now, so like I
two
can
minutes.
like I can be bored with, I actually having, you know what? Actually, having a cat is has been like the most therapeutic thing and best decision I've ever had. I've done in like a while, because like I don't wake up in the morning and I jump on my phone anymore. Like I wake up in the morning with this little
Mm,
thing here trying to like bite my hair and play with me, and I'm, and it takes away like the need to just like go and check my phone, which is definitely a great,
yeah.
it's a great source of like stress. And obviously like we're a lot on our phone, always on Twitter. There's always 1,000 messages to reply and so on. But yeah, I have to say like
Yeah.
the cat was a good investment
Yeah.
for the well-being. But what
Yeah.
are in your opinion, like what are the main like habits that you see? And I know this is like a very um yeah, a general question, but like what are the main habits that you
Hmm.
see present in highly successful people? And you've worked with YPO, which is a young president's organization, which obviously is very tough to get in. And they're the cater of the cadence of the people that are part of this organization is all C-suite founders. Like you need to have a certain amount of revenue to be even be part of this group, right? So you've been obviously working with
Hmm.
very intelligent, highly successful individuals. um what's a couple of things that you've observed among the people? And this can be anything from just like you know taking breathing 5 times before drinking water. I'm just making this up.
Yeah. So yeah, I worked with YPOers, and and then I also worked with Rocket Space, which is more kind of tech founder. So like Series A. Um, so different types of founders. But that I one thing I noticed was that they had boundaries, like really strict boundaries. Um, they would go to an event and, for example, decide that they were going to leave at 9 p.m. Like I know one incredible founder, and she was like, I need to be in bed by 10. Like, oh, but there's this incredible event. There's like this person you have to meet. This, that. She
No
says, okay,
FOMO.
then they have to come earlier.
No
No FOMO.
FOMO.
No FOMO at all. She knows her sleep and her productivity is extremely important. And what I've also seen is routines. The ones who, I think it goes back to the wanting freedom and creating that. In order to have freedom, you have to have structure. Otherwise, one thing bleeds into the other. So it sounds very typical, but a lot of early risers and people who incorporate sports or movement into their day almost every day.
Yeah.
And that sounds like a lot to do every day, but it doesn't have to be an hour.
Yeah, you can just go
It can be
30
15,
minutes.
15 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I see it in
yeah.
myself as well. Like the days that I work out, and this can just be like a 5K run in the morning. I feel like I already won at life. Like my day is already conquered, and I usually work out in the morning. And there's this thing, right,
Mm,
where you're conditioning yourself to winning, and if you do it in the morning, it's already like you've already achieved something. You have to go
yeah.
and do this. We have a question in the chat. Like, what's your thoughts on meditation?
Meditation. I think that it works differently for different people. I don't like to push it like to everyone. I meditate. Um, and like I've gone on my own journey um, through meditating every day, guided meditations, and I think it definitely can work. Um, but it doesn't have to be meditation. It could be, as you said, playing with your cat. I think as long as you have some sort of mindfulness where you don't have external input and can really be alone with your thoughts, that's where so many solutions come. Um, and like as a coach, you can never tell anyone to do anything. Actually, just in life, if I tell you you have to meditate, you're
Yeah,
not going to do
it's
it, or you might do it once or twice or 1 week, and then you're going to drop it. And that's if it's something you really want to do. But if, for example, you enjoy taking baths, then that can be your meditation or a walk or playing with your dog. So I think it really is essential, however you want to package it, to meditate in some way to get some mental space and clarity, because that's where solutions come over and over.
yeah, you need to create that space and silence in a way where,
Yeah.
I'm definitely, I mean, you know me, I'm the kind of person that will like check myself into a silent retreat for 10 days. No phone, like meditate 12 hours a day,
Yeah.
and then like nothing for months. But I do have to say, since, now with the cat, I try to meditate in the morning. It's not perfect, it's not every day, but the days where I do have this routine where it's like a 20-minute meditation before you start the day and then working out and getting on with your day, it really makes a massive difference. And it's just something where the rest of the day is going to make sense. Like it's going to be less chaotic, but
Yeah.
things will feel more in sync if you're actually tuning in, right? And yeah, it's something that, and
Yeah.
it can start if you're starting and if you want to get into meditation, honestly, the best way to do it is go to some group classes. I was never, to be honest, I was never someone that like was able to do the guided ones. Like I've tried with Headspace and like all these apps, but the best ones was just the group ones. And this is because also in terms of frequency, you tune into other people and it's easier to get in the zone if you're as opposed to being by yourself. That's just like me. But yeah, there's many
Yeah.
ways, to be honest, and it definitely grows on you over time. You see the
Mhm.
benefits. How's
And
life
I
in
invite,
hmm?
oh, go ahead.
No, tell me.
I was going to say, and I invite you to try different things because different things work for different people. Like now I do chanting, and I have the prayer beads, and then I kind of just go through those, and it's rhythmic and it's not guided. And then I can also choose how long I do it for, and it gives some flexibility. But it also has to go into my calendar.
Yeah.
Like I literally put it, it's like a meeting with myself that I have to schedule into my calendar. Otherwise, I don't do it. I say, oh, I'll do it once I'm done with that. And then something else, oh, once I'm done with that. So,
I guess saying, is that the one that
yeah,
Orlando Bloom is doing? You know Orlando Bloom
I don't know.
chants. What's
Let
the
me call him. I'll ask.
what's the Max, what's the name of his they're part of a they're not, yeah, I don't remember the name of what they're doing, but there's a it's kind of a popular one among I think like Hollywood people. How's life in London, by the
Mm,
way? I'm in Dubai right now, and when I moved, remember I moved like two and a half years
yeah.
ago. Everybody was like, what the fuck? What are you doing in Dubai? How is don't you care about slavery? They don't have sewage systems, like superficial this, superficial that. Like, such a shallow person for choosing this location when actually it turned out to be the best decision for our business. Um, but now suddenly this has shifted and I'm seeing people move here. It seems like Londoners are escaping. Am I going to be seeing you here in a couple of years? Is that what's going to happen?
Maybe, but I think a big part of the shift it happens because the tax laws changed. So then there's a huge draw to figure out to Italy, Portugal, and Dubai. I think were the main places that people moved because of
Italy.
tax reasons.
Italy.
Yeah, as well.
Oh,
They
wow.
had some tax breaks. Yeah. Yeah, you can go home to your family.
I don't, it's to be honest, like I love Italy, but I mean it's nice for holidays and just visiting. I can't live there. It's too slow and yeah, it's chaotic.
Yeah.
I don't know how people that don't speak Italian
Hmm.
manage because they will get ripped off like in life and everything.
Yeah.
It's
And
yeah,
so,
they don't like
yeah,
foreigners.
I also love it too. But I've tried to work remotely from Italy, and I have to tell you, my productivity was.
Yeah, right. It's not possible. You need to be in a place where the energy is like, active. Like I feel like Dubai is one of those
Mhm.
places. London is as well. I mean, I used to
Yeah,
love living in London as well.
New York,
Yeah, there's
and I
something
think that's
about it.
also why Londoners move to Dubai. Like the ones who have like an entrepreneurial mindset, who want to achieve big things, who have a lot of energy, they have to find a city that matches the energy of London. And I haven't been to Dubai in years. I think I haven't been since I lived in Doha.
Oh my God, you lived in Doha. That's
But
like another chapter in your life.
yeah,
Apparently Doha's like
many
really nice.
years ago.
Doha's like really nice right now. It's changed a lot. Apparently it's really fun. Like
Yeah,
it's not what it used to be when you lived there. Oh my God. Yeah,
I
we're
know. There
different.
wasn't much happening there like 12 years ago.
Yeah, oh my God, tough times. The things you do when you go to hospitality business school, they send you on internships all over the world. They say it's gonna be fun, and then you end up in these like really
But
weird
this
work.
was but this was voluntary. This when I was done with school. And I decided I've worked and lived in many different countries and cultures. And I was like, oh, I never lived in the Middle East. And a job opportunity came, so I took it.
You were early.
And I learned a lot as well.
You were early.
Yeah, I should have invested in property.
Are they open? Are they open though? I feel like it might have been tough to invest as a foreigner now. I see that Saudis like currently they recently opened up to foreign investors. They're making it easier.
Mm,
They want to compete with Dubai. Dubai is so easy. You want to invest in
yeah.
it's they opened the door a long time ago, and Saudis following up. I don't know about the other Emirates, to be honest.
Yeah. I, I think like Qatar, they do want um, to change their reputation as well and get like attract more international companies and like, international people to come. When I was there, I think like getting a mortgage in this way, like lending, like that was not really um, a way to buy things and get integrated. It was like cash is king there.
Yeah.
So if you have enough cash to buy a place, great, but you're not going to lend from the bank.
I mean, Dubai is different. You do
Yeah.
have access to a lot of banking services. And I mean, we're seeing so many entrepreneurs move here. Like, I think, I can't recall his name. We've got Revolut founder coming, founder of
Mm,
Gymshark, all these big, entrepreneurs moving from London. And it kind of tells you a bit of like, how's the landscape. I've heard recently that the UK is like uninvestable. How is it, if you were to found a company, would you like, and let's say a tech company, would you do it in the UK or would you find another place
so
where,
I do think that the UK still has a really great startup scene. And like it's very like a great tech and VC environment. So there is still money, like lots of investments being made. But then what I found is it's a little bit later stage that people are going to Dubai once they're past the startup scale up phase, um, where, yeah, as I mentioned too, they don't want to pay. The more money you make, the more taxes you pay. So then they move there. But for like the ecosystem and the support in London, it's it's still very much there if you are an entrepreneur. I think where people are also struggling though in London is like the normal job market and the salaries. They're not in line with inflation at the
yeah,
moment.
I know.
And
I
even if you, yeah,
still now, I remember I have been hearing this from so many different people saying that it's been a struggle. Like inflation's going up and salaries are not being adjusted. And rent, right?
yeah,
It's insane. Like I left during COVID and it's changed like so much. I mean, I have a very skewed perception of London right now. Every time I open TikTok, it's like murders and stabbings and they stole my watch and my phone and I got attacked at Oxford Circus. Jesus
but
Christ. I don't know. Is, is that
but
real
it's
though? Is
also
it
like the
that bad?
second you watch one video,
Is
if
it?
you watch one video, then that's going to be your algorithm.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I'm only getting people complaining about London. That's the reality I'm living in, where everyone's complaining and saying that they got attacked or crying on camera. I don't know if that's like real, but a lot of people are
It's
complaining a lot.
I had a friend who lived in London, moved to Dubai, and she was only going to stay there for a while, but then stayed for I think almost 3 years, and then she came back to London, and she said that she was nervous because she was hearing about all the crime and how dangerous it was, and now she's decided to stay in London.
Oh, really? I mean, I see
Yeah,
Timothy is saying it's
because
true. Timothy, do you live in London? Like, are you in the UK? And sorry, the cat is like, hey, come here. You're not allowed in here anymore. Otherwise, let me just get her because it's like I don't know if you can. Can you hear the crackling in the back?
no.
Oh wow. Okay, this mic is like isolating so well. Never mind then. We're good. Timothy, are you in the UK? Yeah, the cat doesn't want me to stream. I don't know. The cat is needy. Yeah, Timothy's saying no, but I've seen videos like that too. Right? It seems like maybe it's the algo that's like, pushing very extreme and dramatic content. But I have not seen a video of someone like praising London or life in London. It's just crime.
Like,
Yeah.
I live in central London and like, I'm not scared.
Maybe we
And
lived
it
in the same
hasn't
we
really
lived in the
changed for
same
me.
building. We had crackheads on our
Yeah.
doorstep. I remember that. Oh my God. Yeah. And it wasn't even a bad
Yeah.
neighborhood, like, but it's just London life. I lived in Soho and I had like, I was waking up really early to go to the office in the morning, and the people like, yeah, I'll spare the details, but I've seen a lot
Yeah,
from
like you,
this.
you can't compare it to Dubai is definitely cleaner
Yeah,
and
there's
safer.
no homeless. Like you don't get to be homeless here. They'll kick you out. It's like illegal to be homeless, I think. It's super clean.
Yeah,
It's
what
really safe.
happens? What
Well,
happens if you, for example, lose your job
you get like 3 months, you
or
get a limited time period for you to find new employment, because nobody, unless you're Emirati, no one actually has a nationality here. So if your visa is not a golden visa and is tied to actually your employer and you're out of job, you have a limited time period for finding a replacement. Otherwise, you have to leave the country.
Mm.
There, no one's coming to save you here. There's no social services. There's, you have to grind. You really have to. And that's the beauty of it, right? Like it's an environment where everyone it's more successful than you, but also by need, because there is no plan B. And it's kind of, if you have that
yeah,
energy and if you want to put that time and invest in yourself and grow something, this is the best place, because there's no plan B. Literally, if you don't succeed here, you have to leave. You have to go, and then you have to go back to Europe, and it's not as comfortable as here. So this is one of the things, honestly,
mm,
that I think at least is great to think. And it's that mindset, right? Shift that there's no parachute. It's either you succeed or you succeed. There's no plan B,
yeah,
really. And even if you're maybe struggling or there's something, like, it doesn't matter, you have to do it. So
yeah.
yeah, I was wondering, like, is there who's who's a founder or like an entrepreneur that you who's your idol in terms of like founder and entrepreneur?
Ooh, my idol. I feel like I don't really like to have idols, also because I feel like they become glorified in a way,
Yeah,
and then
and
you
then you meet
follow
them in real
someone
life,
else's path.
and then you meet
Yeah.
them in real life and you're
Eh,
like, oh, not, wish never meet your idols. So true.
yeah. And I think even before working at YPO, I was like, oh, I can't wait to meet this person. They're so amazing, this, that. And then you realize that they're all just humans. Everyone is just like kind of trying their best. Everyone makes mistakes, fumbles on stage when they're giving a keynote, gets really nervous, and or like shows up late and forgets something and has to go back and forth to the room 10 times. So like there are, I think naturally, like I respect lots of like female entrepreneurs and people who do things when they've told that they can't. I guess it's almost the like the cliche of Oprah, right? That she got fired from her broadcasting job, that she was not fit for TV.
Yeah.
So I think it's stories like these that I love, of people who are told that they can't do it and they do it.
Yeah.
Um, so, so anyone who's been told no and they still do it, like they are my idols or like inspiration.
Yeah, it's
Because
quite
I was told no as well. My family was like, why would you? You have a good job. Why would you coach? Just that. Just, stay on the career ladder and work for this company for 10 years and get a pension. And
pension. What is
so,
a pension anyways? Are people our generation and Gen Zs, and is pension gonna be a thing? Like, what pension? What, like,
no, it'll be
what?
like pocket money for a holiday.
What do you mean? You're gonna get like $500 a month? Like, for, I don't even know. It's just ridiculous. Honestly, it's ridiculous. This mindset of pension, like, it's so outdated. Also, if you stay in a job for 10 years, you become unemployable. Like, nobody's gonna want to work with you because you're untrainable. You're too tied to like a company. So it's such an
Yeah.
outdated point of view, but I get it. I mean, tell me about it. I work in crypto. Like, do you think my family knows? Or like, I still get calls. I still get calls from my mom from time to time asking like, so what should we tell our friends, you know what I mean, like I'm going to, I'm traveling and I'm going to visit so and so, like what should I tell them exactly that you're doing, because they're going to be asking and I need to know. So I'm just like, it's like, what do you mean? I'm a marketing agency and I create
Yeah.
content and I live stream, like we help companies grow. It's like, yeah, but crypto. It's like, what do you mean? What do you mean? Yeah, what do you mean? I mean, to be honest,
Yeah. And
like
why does that have to be tied to their value is what I realized too, that people
it's cute
sometimes
though.
like parents, they're like they want to brag or to say, oh, my child is doing this and that, and then as even adults who have parents, we want to please them. But
I feel
yeah,
like if
I think
you're
it's really brave not to.
that's the thing, right? If you're doing something, and I saw this tweet once, I can't remember who tweeted it, and I wish I could bring it up, but it's like it's that's something that really resonated with me. And it's like if you're working a job that your parents know what you're doing, or your parents understand exactly what you're doing at work, you're you're not doing it right. In this day and age, like if you're not experimenting, like I'm sorry, but what are you doing with your life? You know what I mean? If
Mm,
your parents can box you in,
yeah,
like you're not living
yeah,
to your fullest potential. We're here on the internet, like
yeah,
doing stuff, you know what I mean? Experimenting. I'm like live streaming. We're building stuff with AI. It's like
yeah.
it's so fun. Like, but again, it depends. I do think it's something that, we see it a lot, and especially I mean in my industry it's tough.
Mm.
Um yeah.
And you don't want to wake up and be like, oh, I wish I had done this. I wish I had done that. What if, right?
Maybe
It's better to do something and fail.
I mean, if I wanted to stay depressed and, keep with my corporate life at Bloomberg and cry in the bathrooms like every 2 days, like I would have never quit that job. Like I would have stayed there. Like I would have stayed, and it taught me a lot. But crying in the
Mm,
bathroom and hating my life was not really what I wanted, what I envisioned for myself. You know what I mean? Like, it was
yeah,
so miserable. Like, oh my God, the
yeah.
the corporate micromanaging life, like so bad for me. And just not for me. And this goes back to what we were saying in the beginning. Like I just had this need to just be myself and rebel, but not necessarily rebel, but just explore and be creative. And when you're working in a certain environment that needs that structure, especially for these, you know, ultra corporate companies that don't need to
Mm,
make revenues anymore. They're profitable and that's it. They're done. They're so comfortable. Bloomberg is just focusing on their media domination right now. So, at the end of the day, like
yeah,
you're just very replaceable. It killed my soul. It really
yeah.
killed my
It
soul in
does.
there. Yeah. Ugh.
Yeah.
It's good on
And
it's good on the
like
CV though.
a prob
I can claim that
a problem
forever.
I also see is, huh?
I can write that on my CV for the rest of my life, but oh, like
Yeah. Is it worth it, right?
it was worth it. You know what? It was worth it. Like today, I can tell
Yeah,
you
good.
it was worth it. And I think everything you go through in life at the end of the
Mm,
day is it will bring you something. It's just a matter of perspective.
yeah.
Like things are the way they are, and it's not black and white. And there's a thousand ways to look at
Mm,
things. And you can either look at them in a way that is going to fulfill the need to feel sorry for yourself or feel like a victim of life, or you can look at them in a way, where this experience was a stepping stone, a growth experience. Or even if you can't find anything positive, just say like, I figured that this was not what I wanted. And this motivates me every day. I'm telling you, like, I would
yeah.
never go back there. I will succeed no matter what to keep the state, you know what I mean? And if everything fails, I will find something else and I'm not going back. And it motivates me because I know how unhappy I was. I know that wasn't it. And if
Yeah.
that's just it, if that's the gift that that experience gave me, so be it. It's good enough. But I did learn a lot.
Yeah.
Honestly, I learned so much.
It's a beautiful lesson. Like every failure there's a lesson to be learned. That's not even a failure. That's actually just a lesson. But I think from like entrepreneurs, we fail a lot and often, and we're allowed to. And I
Yeah.
think that's like a really good thing for us to learn how to bounce back really quickly
Yeah.
and not let
100%.
it haunt us. And I think that's what I felt was difficult too in the beginning, right? Because I was like, oh, I'm a perfectionist. Everything has to be perfect.
Relatable.
But it doesn't. It
Relatable.
doesn't. And I saw this quote that made me laugh. I thought it was quite harsh, but it's about insomnia. And I feel a lot of it, people I work with have insomnia or wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning, like, oh,
Oh,
I need to do
really?
this. I need to do that.
Really? I thank God I
So
don't have this. Are a lot of really?
uh,
What do you do in this case? Like
like,
you can't numb yourself with sleeping pills. Like that's just not. You're just creating another problem there,
no.
right?
Uh, well, there's like this concept that insomnia is the revenge for the thoughts that you refuse to have during the day.
That makes sense.
So, and that can be quite harsh, but I think it is often that people don't, we come now like full circle. People, don't meditate, or people don't have any time to have just these thoughts come in that you with your own thoughts so that you can process like the information that's come in, process like internal conflicts, external conflicts, different paths that you can take. So my advice is for insomnia is, yeah, meditate or get a coach or have some physical activity where you're not listening to music or a podcast at the same time.
Yeah, where you let it out. Thank God I've never had this. What are other issues
Yeah.
that you've seen, is in terms of like that are really detrimental to someone's success, but ultimately like that's quite common for founders that you've worked with.
Um, you're it's like a very difficult one, but you have to have a life partner that understands your journey and supports you on doing that. Um, that's really like I think you said too, you lose your social life, but if you have a life partner who understands and supports, that's great. Because a common thing that I witness is guilt. People feel a lot of guilt for not spending time with their partner, for not spending time with their families, that they feel like they have too many plates in the air and they're dropping things.
Yeah.
Um, so like your family you cannot choose, but like your life partner you do choose, and your friends you do choose, so choose the people who are on that journey with you and understand, really want you to succeed. And then another thing too is, well, I gave the example to one of my clients. He has four businesses. Is we're all like a hot air balloon. We're all destined to rise. And founders often like, oh, how can I be more efficient? How can we put more fuel on the fire? How can I do
Do
this quicker? Do
everything.
that, da da da. Yeah. But just like the hot air balloon, sometimes you can continue adding more gas, adding more fire. You don't go anywhere. You need to drop a sandbag before you rise. So that's like an exercise, which is quite confrontational,
Yeah, what's my
is
sandbag?
to find out what are the sandbags in your life.
God. We're gonna turn this into a therapy session.
That
What's my sandbag?
that could be you could be carrying the sandbags. The sandbag could be another person. It could be a bad habit you have. It can be one of your businesses that you have to close. In the end, he decided to close one of the businesses, which helped to, which immensely helped now, like months later, to all other businesses. They exponentially like increased their revenue, and he's much happier and has a better relationship with his partner.
Oh wow. Okay, I'm gonna think about this. What's my sandbag? I'm pretty sure there's many. I think my sandbags is definitely the channels that I'm trying to manage. Trying to manage many different channels at once and wanting to do things and overworking myself with that side of things, and then obviously running the business. And I'm well aware of the sandbag, but I will give this more thought. I will definitely give this more thought. And the thing is, there's so many different social media apps and so on that you can like grow. But unless I hire someone, and the thing is, delegating that part of content creation is really tough because no one's going to have the voice that you have. And the way to grow and the way I've grown is also having a direct contact with the community. So I need to know who's talking, and you know what I mean? So it's been that part's been like really tough. And I have this tendency of wanting to just like start a new channel, and I'm going to grow my TikTok now, and I'm posting cat pictures and cat videos. So yeah, I'll have a think. I will have a think. And then wanting to do activities.
And I think
like so many different things. Learning Arabic. Let's just add things. Because, it's not like we have 100 hours per day. You know what I mean? But I'm going to do that too. And I'm going to go back to horseback riding, and I'm going to play padel and like stay sane and meditate and cook.
But it's also like, it really helps to either say it out loud and talk about all these things. So like if we were in a session, I would ask you to write them down, and I would write them down at the same time as you do. And then I would observe like your facial expressions, the word that you use associated with each thing. We put weight onto them, like which ones are more important for you right now. Also, everything is not permanent, but what's most important to you right now? Like what sparks joy? What has like knock-on effects, positive effects for your business, and what's important to you and what doesn't? And I would tell you, if we can do it together if you want.
I feel like I need
But
maybe this is the start of
I'll never tell you. You'll find the answers yourself.
Yeah, that's the thing, right?
You'll be like,
the answers are always within. We can lie. I can lie to myself like all day long, but deep inside, I know. Deep inside, I know, but it's like it's a matter of like, am I ready to let go? Because there's, and then we get attached to things, and it's a question of like a fear and letting go and like control. It's a forever battle.
I guess like a question maybe I can ask you is like, what does your life look like if you continue doing like X, Y, Z? And what does it look like, if you drop a sandbag? Because especially after you've like recognized what the sandbag is, it can be scary to make a change. Then you can kind of see, okay, if I continue on this route, like what does that look like?
I've thought about it.
Maybe I can ask you, what does it look like?
I've thought about it
continue
actually.
doing everything.
Yeah, I've played this in my head, and so not doing it, obviously less overwork, I have less things to manage, less pressure on myself. That's obviously the pro. The less is regrets. I think it's the regret of not doing it. So yeah, I'm battling between these. But yeah. It's a lot of channels to manage. Let's see. For now, I mean, I have evergreen content here. The cat is it's pretty fun. If you want to follow the journey of Mochi and me ranting on TikTok, no crypto content, I promise. Let's see. I feel like it's fun, as I've been creating content for, I think, over 2.5 years now, and it's been a conscious decision that I made, and I'm creating content intentionally, and initially was to grow our brand. Obviously, if you're starting
Yeah.
up, and for us, obviously, relaunching Mood Labs, and I say relaunching is because we went through a period of the market where a lot of the projects that I was working with, either closed down or didn't exist anymore. And as an agency and as a marketeer, you need to have case studies, and so I had to relaunch in a very competitive landscape. The best thing you can do is to
Mm.
grow your brand. This is something that it was obvious. There was no, this was it. This was the only way. The path was so clear. It was tough. But by
Mm.
creating your brand, you become so irreplaceable, and to the point where people will want to work with you. Obviously, you have to deliver, you have to be good, and you need to have a certain standing of, quality that you will give. But ultimately, people will want to
Yeah.
work with you because it's you, because you have a brand, you have a presence, and it's already, you don't have to prove yourself anymore. Like, people know your name, and that's the reason why I've been doing it, when before I was just in the background, to be honest. So it's been an interesting journey, and I also then started live streaming, and I love these conversations because I don't know, I just like talking, I guess. It's like talking for
Yeah.
hours,
And
and we've
you're
been
you're
talking
great
for
at it.
over an hour, by the way. Yeah, I think,
Oh no.
yeah, time flies. Time
I
flies.
know.
Yeah. What's next for you? Like, whether how's the rest of your week looking? Like, anything that you've been looking forward to? Fun stuff happening in London.
Fun stuff. Well, I'm actually going to meet with my friend from Dubai.
Ah, there you go. It's a sign, babe.
Yeah, so we're
It's a
probably,
sign.
yeah. And then it's just like lots of Christmas dinners. And I'm going to do an extra mediation training for my couples therapy for co-founders, um, which I think is really fun because I love seeing the way that people think and what conflicts other people experience, because like things I haven't seen other ones have, for example, intergenerational, like boomers working with like Gen Xers and what conflicts they have.
What's the biggest? Do you think
And
like
so
Gen
I'll just
Zs are
sit.
unemployable? Is it tough? Like, do people complain a
Mm,
lot about Gen Zs?
yes. But there was an example actually from like a mediation training, um, about from the NHS. So that's the like the public health company in the UK, and it was that a person, she didn't, a Gen Zer, didn't want to come into the office, and I think it was combined with like post COVID, and then she wanted to work from home, and the boomer, who was her boss, said, "Oh, she doesn't want to work. She is lazy, entitled, etc., etc." So I don't know if you got that, did it freeze?
Yeah. I mean,
But
I do see the
yeah, and
point, but you need an office. Like, there's, it's tough if you have remote teams. Honestly, there's only so much you can achieve. Look at all
yeah,
all the new, companies pointing out, like, everyone's back in the office.
yeah. But for this one, it turns out that the Gen Zer, she had an autoimmune disease, and she said the office was very dirty. And it's like, oh, okay. And she had her standards and wants a certain working environment. And then they were able to talk and say, okay, we'll make sure that we get cleaners and tell them to clean the office and then come in.
I
And
feel
then
like
it was resolved.
this is such an NHS kind of example. So they brought a person with the autoimmune disease, very rare case. But like, for every other person, I hear a lot that Gen Zs are really, and especially people coming out of university, they're struggling to find the job that's for them, and they're much more picky, but at the same time the job market isn't what it used to be. Although, I mean, I don't know, did we struggle to get jobs? I can't remember. I did struggle, like trying to find something
I
out
did.
to get out of Bloomberg. I remember that was really tough at the time. But I was picky. I didn't want to, I couldn't find something. It was tough, like you work for the big company and then the big name, and everybody's like, oh my God, you're working there. And then suddenly having to downgrade to
Mhm.
unknown, yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's just standards. Standards are really high.
Like, I think you just described yourself in the same way as you described the Gen Zers. Oh, they're picky. I was picky.
I was so picky. Yeah. But rightfully
Yeah.
so. Rightfully so. At the end of the day, this is going to be the place where you're going to be spending most of your day. Most of your day. Like if you're doing a 9 to 5, you are spending that amount
Mhm.
of time, and your coworkers are the people you're going to be seeing the most. So it is important to find something that you like doing, right? And same thing in reverse as a company. Like we've let go people that we felt they weren't aligned because this wasn't for them. They thought they would. They wanted that job initially. But
Yeah.
it was clear to see that they weren't a right fit culturally. Just this wasn't, skill wise, it wasn't necessarily what they wanted. And the thing is, also as a company, if you're mishiring and you're keeping people the same way that you mentioned earlier, if you have a partner in your life that's not supporting you and not aligned with
Mhm.
what you're doing, if you're hiring someone in your company that you're paying to do and achieve, and give you a certain output, and they're sabotaging.
Yeah.
They're sabotaging your company. Like there's no in between.
Mhm.
Either they're doing the job and they're doing it well and they're aligned. If they're not, they're sabotaging and you have a problem. You have a problem you have to get rid of. And they're
Yeah.
going to be creating it's like a cancer in your company, and you have to eradicate that and set them free because they're
Yeah.
probably not happy, and no one, it's just a miserable situation, especially for startups. So
Yeah.
tough to
Like
hire.
culturally, financially, everything. Well, that's, hey, maybe sandbags.
That yeah, definitely those can be sandbags. It's definitely not an easy position when that you have to put yourself
Mhm.
in, but it's you have to do what's right. And ultimately, if you can do it in a place of also compassion and love, and it's a difficult decision, but when you cut
Mhm.
someone from your organization that you see isn't fit for that position, you're also freeing them to you know it, if you look at it from their
Mhm.
perspective, it's like, oh, something didn't go right, but it was like a blessing in the sky because suddenly they're free to do maybe something that they're good at or they're better, but they thought that this
Yeah.
comfort was good for them or was going to bring them something. So it's a
Yeah.
win-win. I think also when you do see things in that way and treat people with the respect that they need and do things
Mm.
for the best of both worlds, it always works out, and it's a good way to go about things.
Yeah.
But it's tough. It's so tough. Oh my God, like really tough.
I know. And usually people just only see the positive, maybe like months or years later, right? But almost everyone who's been let go of a job or transition or made redundant, they always say, oh, later, like, oh, thank God, because otherwise this wouldn't have happened and that, right?
But the thing is, with
But
that
in the moment,
said,
it's hard.
it's hard, but like life will always give you what you need. So regardless of the situation, like you're always gonna get what you need. Like you're always gonna get another opportunity. It's just a matter of like
Yeah.
where's your head at? Like how are you looking at things in life? Um,
Mm.
but
And
yeah,
yeah, and
that's
keep your blinders open to look,
mhm.
because it might be right next to you and you don't see it, right? And talk to people.
Yeah, no, for sure. Uy, sorry, I typed something in there. I got in the chat. Give me 1 second. But yeah, this has been a really, honestly, really fun conversation. And I'm gonna think of the
Yeah.
sandbags. I'm gonna think of my sandbags. We can I don't know, chat. What are your sandbags? Do you guys know what your sandbags are? But let me open up. We have a Discord, by the way. I'm just gonna open it up here. So in the Twitch chat, this should work. I'm just dropping the link there if you want to join. I know you guys are already in there, but if anybody's interested, and also, so we just launched a women's community for babes in crypto. So I'm gonna send you a link if you want to join. And yeah, could be interesting to just explore the side of the world. It's a very niche, techie place, but yeah, hopefully we can go do something in London and stuff, or you can come to Dubai. Any plans?
Yeah.
I think it's a sign.
Would be great. And then also, if anyone wants to chat, like, you can feel free to share my details, and I can have, like, I'm happy to chat with people for like a 30-minute discovery to see what we can chat through, like, free of charge for
Yeah, I was
your
gonna
community.
say exactly. So how does it work if somebody wants to work with you? Where can they find you? I'll share the details. Is it on LinkedIn, or what's the best
Yeah.
way to reach you?
So I think best way is through my website, Qvist Unfolding. You can just say, I want to chat, and then it sends me a link and we can schedule in a call that way.
Okay, sick. Let me find it here. I'm just gonna I'll put in the, I'm gonna put it in the Twitch channel. Oh no, I can't send. Can I send links? Paste. There you go. This is the link. Perfect. And so can get a discovery call. Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I'll be sharing this, and you know, I think this was a very fun conversation. It was so nice to have you. I hope like we can maybe plan one in a few months if you want to come back, or if you have like some really fun stories to share. We can do a little recap stream, and like I'm sure I definitely appreciated your wisdom. It was great to chat.
Hey, I have a lot of juice, but a lot of confidentiality in my work. So it's always trying to take away, like the learnings without giving away any names or companies or struggles.
Yeah. No,
associated with people.
Fair enough. A lot of NDAs and so on, I can imagine. But I mean, regardless, you're working with some of the top founders out there. So anyone that's been listening, yeah, like I know Sophie can drop names, but it's some big founders. So yeah, we've had Pantella that's saying amazing stream, loved it. I'm glad. Thank you for joining in. Honestly, like it's always, that's the thing. Like I love having these conversations where we're not necessarily talking about crypto. It's just a bit about everything, psychology. Just seeing where everyone's going. Spicy Rich, what's up? We're about to close off the stream. You're coming in a bit late, but anyways, just the TLDR is that whether you're a founder or you want to get to a place in your life where you feel you're successful and you're happy, there's things that you can do, and what you can control in your life is your habits. That's the base. It's your habits, it's your mindset, it's the way you look at things, the way you see things, the people around you. Everything else you cannot control, but your mindset and your habits and the way that you take care of yourself, that's a variable that you can control. So you might as well start making a plan, and yeah, and get in touch with Sophie. She'll set you straight for everything. And again,
if you're ready, if you're ready
to drop the sandbags. Oh my God. Thanks, babe. This was so fun. Super fun. We'll do this again in a couple of months.
Pleasure.
Yeah. And I'm so proud of you for starting your journey as well. Like this is super fun. You were always meant to be.
Likewise.
This was exactly where you were meant to be all these years, 100%. So yes.
Same, my trailblazer cam.
Yeah. All right, babe. We'll see you soon. I'll text you after. We'll chat after this. I'll text you after this. All right, everybody. This was Kamsky TV. We're powered by Mood Labs, my company, obviously. all the production done in house, and we've been producing some of the best streams out there. So if you want to have this for your own company or for yourself, just reach out. We can make it happen. Bye, everybody. Ciao, Max. Ciao, everybody in the chat. Love you all. And we're back for tomorrow. By the way, before I close, tomorrow is a big day. I'm going to go live with Elizabeth, and we have Neon coming on the show with Jake from Thrust. Huge. So Neon's coming on our show. You're gonna be seeing me next to Neon. So that's just insane. If you don't know who he is, you're too old. I'm sorry for you. But yeah, huge. So it's gonna be, check on my profile. It's going to be at 10 p.m. Dubai time, which is 7 p.m. CET. And we'll be introducing Neon, and we'll be talking about creator coins and the coin that he launched with Thrust and Jake. So huge. Tune in. I'll see you guys. Bye, Soph. See you on the other side. Bye-bye, everybody.